I'm Mel Stewart, and this is the SwimSwam podcast. Joining me today is perhaps one of my dearest friends, a 5-time Olympic medalist, an Olympic team captain, the nicest dude in the world, Josh Davis.
Thanks, Mel. Always good to be with you. You know I love you so much, and honored to be on this podcast.
I love you more. You're supposed to say, no, I love you more. And then we do this for 10 minutes.
No, I miss after, but I don't talk to you every few weeks. I feel like I'm missing something. And yeah, we have some special moments together. You were one of my heroes growing up in the 80s, and then got to race. You know, I don't know if we've ever raced together. Raced in a meet, you know.
We did. I won. We raced. I won. I can remember it. It's in my. I just basically took your nose and shoved it in the gutter. It was a real spanking, and you cried in that race. You cried. I think it. I can't. I don't know if we've raced. I can't remember.
Whatever. I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember. I made it.
My greatest memory of us together was in 2008 Beijing, watching Jason anchor the famous relay. We were right next to each other, literally climbing on each other, going nuts. It was a great moment in history and a great moment for you and I to be there live, 10th row, Beijing, middle of the pool, cheering with all the USA alumni and boosters. I mean, it was unbelievable.
So let's give some people some backstory here. We'll talk this story through. So if you have medals, and I only have 3, Josh has 5, so he is a more important Olympian than I am. You do go to the Olympics, and you're able to go and work in some capacity, but basically it's chlorine is in our blood, and we want to be there. Josh is there, and Josh has been a great ambassador for a lot of companies, great ambassador for USA Swimming and the USOPC. So you can expect to see Josh there, and he holds court. He is an in-person analyst to whoever he is hosting, and I sit. Oftentimes no one asks me to do anything that cool. I'm usually sitting there doing. I'm a warm body in the seat. I call myself an Olympic cufflink. The Josh is up holding court, and it's awesome. He was doing that in Beijing. So during the event, he did his whole holding court thing. Then during the finals, there was a row of us, and it was like me, you, and then it was just Olympian. And I took my phone and pressed record and recorded our reaction to the relay. And which relay was it?
The 4x100, the relay, the anchor, the legend.
It was Lee Zach saving Michael Phelps and his 8th gold medal, which let's be honest, the grace of God, that was a silver. And but Lee Zach did it, and we went bonkers. So I load this to YouTube, and I load it, and then like an hour later, it's got 250,000 views. And then another hour later, it's 500,000 views. And then I get a phone call from a mutual friend who we won't say their name, but they were an executive vice president of NBC, saying this was 2008. This is back when like social media and personal media was. This kind of stuff is accepted now, but they were very scared of it, and they told me to take it down. And I was like, oh, I felt really bad because we didn't show the race; we were just showing Olympians cheering, and I was trying to get it down. And by the time I got back to my hotel to take it down because I felt guilty, it was gone. But I was a little bummed because I felt like it was a personal moment that was very meaningful, and I just remember the audio of the video going to just hot and just stayed there because everyone was cheering so loud, and it was Josh Davis bouncing up and down because you're already, you're pretty high energy.
Yeah, it was a moment, and I'm sad I never saw that video. I never saw your video. So, but I'm glad we could share it.
There were 2 seconds where I considered not loading it because in the video you definitely looked much more handsome than I did, and I was like, can I do this? Can I post this video with Josh looking so much more handsome than me? But I went ahead and did it.
Whatever.
So okay, whatever. Stop it. So we have to. So obviously we're buddies. Josh is how would I say this? Josh is a man of faith. And Josh is effervescent. Josh has been, in terms of Fellowship of Christian Athletes and being an ambassador and someone who is a man of high morals and character. I feel like you've been a real leader in the sport. And culturally, that's how I grew up. I'm not quite there now. I have a complicated relationship on that side of the spectrum, but he's someone I've always enjoyed talking to. And I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. I've always told Josh that Josh needs to start his own church. It needs to be on television on Sunday, because this guy can deliver a sermon, and his understanding of the word, of the living word, is pretty phenomenal. And kudos to you, buddy. You deserve a gold medal there.
Well, that means a lot. And I know you know a lot. You know a lot more than you let on. And I love our conversations. We've had many late nights. But I do. Jesus really changed my life when I was in college. And so I've been studying as much as I could about his life and about how to apply Jesus and biblical principles to swimming and sport and life and family. And the people who really know me know that I'm not that great. I'm not that holy. I'm not that disciplined. But by the grace of God, I married up really huge with my wife, Chantel. And God's given us 6 beautiful children. And I surround myself with smart, nice, good people to make me better. And so no, I'm very grateful that I've learned some things along the way, and I'm happy to share that with the next generation of swimmers. You know, we started Swimmers Chapel. I started doing Swimmers Chapel in '92. Athletes in Action had been hosting Swimmers Chapel since the '70s with Mike Bottom and John Neighbor and those guys. Those were the original kind of Swimmers Chapel guys back in the '70s, if you can believe it. And it carried on through the '80s, and I kind of carried the baton into the '90s and 2000s, and then we've had wonderful people, Gabe Woodward, Byron Davis, and many hundreds now take their little Swimmers Chapel to different meets across the country. So, you know, if we can't go to church on a Sunday, we like to bring a little church to the swim meet for 10 minutes, and we do a little Swimmers Chapel. And it's great. People can get to know each other, take a little step back from the pressure cooker that is so often our swim meet and swimming lives, and realize that, yeah, God loves us no matter what. Your family loves you no matter what. And you are now freed up to race in the pool better than ever. And when you know you're loved and you love what you do, that's a formula for success. And that's a good formula for a long, healthy career. So you got to remember you're loved and you love what you do.
Do you have you led these chapels? Are you the person there cracking open the word and leading?
Yeah, traditionally at senior nationals for, gosh, like I said, since '92, we've tried to have a little Swimmers Chapel for 10 minutes on most mornings. And then, of course, Olympic trials, we have a big Swimmers Chapel. Everybody's ready for prayer at Olympic trials. You know what I mean? I didn't have our best attendance at trials.
I didn't know that. I didn't think about that, but that makes a lot of sense. That is such a high pressure moment. I imagine that this is a place where, hey, you got to lean into your faith, and it's, that makes sense.
No, and our head Olympic chaplain, he's a great guy. He's been helping out since 1984 and helping out a lot of swimmers, these last 10 years specifically. He's helping me out 20 years, but he's met a lot more swimmers throughout the country that you and I would know and many people would know, but we have to leave unnamed. But it's just so good to have a safe place to talk, to pray, to, get stuff off your chest and, just know that you're loved. And so we provide that. Swimmers Chapel is that little place of refuge at many big meets like Olympic trials.
Okay, we got to swim nerd this up in a minute, but I am going to stay on this topic one just a beat longer. Favorite verse of Scripture?
Well, for when I got back from the Olympics, it was Philippians 4:8, but now it's John 14:6. John 14:6 says, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me." So I didn't say it; Jesus said it. And it's a very exclusive kind of statement, very unpolitically, is that the right word? Unpolitically correct. But we have to analyze, was Jesus reliable? Did he treat people well? Did he make the world a better place? And, can we trust what he said? And if he said, "I'm the way and the truth and the life, no one can come to the Father but through me," I think we need to analyze that and take a pause and say, okay, what does that mean? How does that impact my life?
like that. I actually think you've said that to me before, and I do like that verse of scripture. My verse of scripture, my favorite verse of scripture is everybody learns. What's the first verse you learn? You learn John 3:16, right?
Yeah.
God sent not his son into the world to condemn, but that the world through him might be saved. I'm like, my feeling is just go ahead and do that extra 200 butterfly and memorize John 3:17. God sent not his son into the world to condemn, but that the world through him might be saved. That's
Yeah, that's
But
right.
anyway, I love you, brother. We're gonna move on to the swim nerd stuff, but I appreciate you sharing that, and I actually learned something. That yes, trials. I need to just be a fly on the wall and see how that operates, because it sounds like there's a lot of reverence and a lot of people in prayer there. The your Olympic experience.
Oh yeah.
Just diving into the background. 96, you got you got your 3 medals. This was your best medal performance. 2000, you were team captain, and your individual, your medal count not as good, but your individual performance, you were fourth 200 free, 146.7, 200-meter free. You popped there. You did it there. Is that a correct assessment if I'm comparing the two Olympics?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. 96, I felt like the new guy, even though I was 23, kind of old. That was my first Olympics. We were sad you weren't on that team. You and I had just kind of missed each other. And so I made it on, got on the relays. Thankfully, we won the relays in front of the home crowd in Atlanta. 3 golds in the home crowd. Changed my life forever. It was amazing. And swam pretty good, 49.00 on the relay, the sprint relay. I raced against Popov. And my split was fast enough to qualify me to anchor the medley prelims. So, of course, Gary Hall Jr. anchored us to a gold medal in that one, too. So thank you, Gary. And then we did the 4x200, my favorite, where we dashed expectations and got the gold. So 4 years later, I train even harder, get even stronger. At 28, I go to Sydney, and I go faster than ever. And I drop 2 seconds, go 146, first American to do that. But I'm next to Ian Thorpe, with his big feet, which is cheating. You shouldn't have to race a guy with size 17 feet. But anyway, so he goes, him and Peter van den Hoogenben, the Italian touches me out. I get fourth. The relays, we got 2 silvers. So we all swam great. We all swam faster than ever. But the Aussies were faster that week. So 2 silvers for me. But I tell kids, those silver medals are very, very special, because I swam my lifetime best at 28 years old. 28, baby. So I tell the kids, what's more important, the color of the medal or that you did your best? Mel, what's the answer? What's the answer, Mel?
I personally think it's your best. In your heart of hearts, when it's you and your maker, and you're going, it's all about the intention of your heart and what you put in the pool. Did you put it all in the pool? Did it all come together perfectly? And it is. I think it's your best performance. That's what matters most. I wanted to dig into that just a little bit. I was looking back through some pictures. What kind of suit were you wearing in 2000?
Yeah, so Speedo made a really nice sleeveless bodysuit. The material is very good. Obviously, what Ian Thorpe was wearing, was something that we had never seen, and
all the way down to his suit, all the way down to his wrists.
Yeah, wrist to ankle. We were wearing tank top to ankle, and we loved it. The guys and girls suit was essentially the same. It was a hoot.
I just want to make this point. I think bodysuits were. I actually like bodysuits, and a lot of our peers, a lot of my, like the reporters at SwimSwam, a lot of our old guard coaches, they don't like the bodysuits. I like them. I thought it's a perfect marriage between swimmer and swimwear company, and I like the technology. It's almost like Formula One. But I think this is an important point to make. Some people benefit more from the bodysuit, and I will call these swimmers bread trucks. I personally, if I'd had a bodysuit, I think I would have gone hugely fast, because I come from a family of people who are a little bit overweight. I've always been a little bit of a bread truck, always fighting, the kind of a big behind and carrying the weight, the back fat. I don't think a bodysuit really benefits you. You are a dude that has always been super lean. Talk me through that. It's like,
no, I love the bodysuit too. I did fine either way. Bikini, for decades like you and I did, or the bodysuit that came out for a while, or now jammers. We got some really nice jammers out now. I just got my American Venzo in the mail the other day. I can't wait to try it out. So thank you, Tier. But I put the 2008 suit on, the big bodysuit with some rubber panels, the Speedo 3 rubber panels. In 2008, I show up at Masters Nationals, training 20 minutes a day. I crush all the records. I'm like 136 in the 200-yard free, 20.1, 50 free. I'm like 38 years old or something ridiculous. It works, baby. It's like a second per 100. It was wonderful, wonderful. It felt so good.
But
I do think for the integrity of the sport.
The difference between 2000 and 2008 was a neoprene. It was the flotation. It's a flotation suit, and that gives you you start off high in the water and you remain high in the water. Yeah. And I remember you going that fast at that age, and I remember asking you, how did you go that fast, and what are you doing training wise? And you described your training to me, and I'm like, why am I not doing that? Why am I not training that way? I want to race Josh, but just so people can get a little understanding of this moment. I mean, 136, 200-yard free at 38 is kind of stupid. That's really fast. What were you doing in your 20-minute workouts?
Well, at the time, I had a backyard pool. I had 3 bodies of water in my yard at the time. I had a regular pool that I had a little fishing pole, like a human fishing pole, and I would swim in place, just kind of tethered like so many people have done during Corona break that you see now. And then I actually did a deal with a hot tub company. And so I had a hot tub, a huge 10-person hot tub. I could go sit in that. And then I also had a 2-lane 50-meter pool in my backyard. I'm not joking. It was a 2-lane 50-meter pool.
Where was this? Where were you at the time?
I was in San Antonio at the time.
Okay.
So we bought this 2-acre ranch house on foreclosure. So it had a tennis court. I built my 2-lane pool. I had the regular pool. I had the hot tub. I had a tree house. it was crazy, all that we built, and it was wonderful. So anyway, I'm just training, 20, 30 minutes in the long course pool and 10, 20 minutes on the tether. And then I go to Masters Nationals and I just kill it. So it is possible to go really fast off 40, 45 minutes a day, but you do have to train really hard. That 45 minutes has to be pretty hard.
You're so much cooler than I ever thought you were. You're just so much cooler. I think that financially you guys did a whole lot better than we did. And my Olympics were 88 and 92. If you're picking up real estate and putting in a 2-lane 50-meter pool, that's some rare air, buddy. Rare oxygen. You're living life right.
Well, I was on the road for 10 years every weekend to pay for it.
Yeah, explain.
Our clinic.
Go ahead and explain. Give us the background. Anybody who knows Josh knows that he has one of the longest running businesses in swimming, and that really is an education in person platform. And I feel like you probably have a lot of children, people that come to you as adults now and say, "I was there in 1999." Tell us the story.
Yeah, so I started the clinic company in 97 with the great agent Evan Morgenstein, for those of you that know him. And we started going on the road. And so for 3 years, I worked, pretty regular. I was still training full time. So we do about 20, 30 clinics a year, maybe 40, 50 with the other team of clinicians. Some who are still doing clinics with us today, like Christy Kowal and some others. But anyway, after 2000, I went full time on the road. So basically 20 years now doing clinics, averaging somewhere 50 to 100 per year. And the last few summers, Jason Lezak and I were in a competition to see who could do the most clinics over the summer. But that's been the joy of my life, is to see the 10,000 kids a year that we get to hit through our breakout swim clinics. We're on year 24 now, and we've serviced, thousands of clubs, and we're the top provider of clinics by the YMCA and so many summer leagues and USA Swimming and their symposiums and LSCs. So we're just really proud of what we've been doing for kids for so long, and so proud of we've been able to give back to the Olympians who work with us to help support them. Some are still current, still training, and that puts groceries on the table so they can keep representing USA. Some are retired, and it's been a cool transition thing for them. And then, of course, the kids get to meet their heroes in person. Not many sports, you get to spend 4 or 5 hours with your heroes, learning from them, and we provide that. So it's been really a joy.
It's you're so deep into swim. Just so people understand this, you've been an ambassador with USA Swimming on and off forever. What are you currently doing with the USA Swimming, the governing body?
Well, everything was kind of put on hold for 6 months, but we've been doing some kind of continuing education for professional swimmers and for the U.S. national team that I've been a part of, creating some educational videos. And I'm excited for this next year. We're kind of resetting for Tokyo 21 and what's going to happen in Omaha, and, connecting with the alumni and connecting with swim fans. We provide a valuable service at every Olympic trials. It's called the Trials Training Camp. There's 10,000 swim families coming to Omaha, and they have siblings that need, to stay in shape. You can't just take 8 days off while you're cheering on your family and friends at the trials. So we rent out several of the pools in downtown, and me and Jason Lezak, Elizabeth Beisel, Christy Cole, we provide a hard 90-minute practice right before prelims, and then people go to the stadium and watch, and then we provide another afternoon practice, and then people go back to the stadium to watch finals. So you can train with the Olympians and then go watch the Olympians make the team to Tokyo. It's like the vacation of a lifetime. So I'm like loving it. It's like swimmer heaven for me, where I can coach and cheer, and then coach and cheer, and then get to see you at the alumni event. And it's just the best week is Omaha, every Olympic trials.
It's let's go ahead and talk about it. How have you been since the shutdown? How have you been since the pandemic? And just share a little bit about that and your thoughts going forward and what you're seeing next spring.
Obviously, it's been incredibly difficult and challenging and frustrating. Thankfully, here in Oklahoma, we opened up May 1st. So we've been pretty normal with masks on May 1st. Everything's open. Gyms were open, pools were open. And I was lucky to have the keys to my college pool just to the wall behind me, where I could go swim every day in March and April. I swam guilty, but I had to do it. I had the keys. I could go swim every day. I had to do it to keep my sanity, because I was so sad. I was so frustrated for the companies and for people, that are hurting financially, people that are hurting, physically, that get the COVID. Thankfully, most of the demographic I've known has recovered really well. It's just a couple of days of crud, and they're fine. I don't know anybody that's really been severely injured or has passed that had COVID. So I'm thankful for that. But man, I've just been really frustrated for my company that I can't go out and do events, because in-person events has been affected. I'm a motivational speaker. I like to speak to audiences of 500, 1,000. That's on hold. I don't know when that's going to go back. Clinics with kids is we're back doing clinics now. We did a huge one in Denver in August, went really well. We did a big one in Houston, went really well. I was just in Montana this last weekend, that went really well. But we got to be careful. People are easing back into it. We got to spread out, and it's tough. We swimmers like to be together. We want to train and race and learn and be close. So, but yeah, so thankfully my health is really good, because I haven't missed my 30-minute swim yet. And even my wife, Chantel's now swimming with me every day. So that's been our little date time every day to swim laps together. My 4-year-old Sophie learned to swim this summer with us. So we've had some nice family bonding from it. So we're thankful.
You're a smart guy. You're pretty dialed in. What's going to happen next spring? Are we going to have a trials? Are we going to have an Olympics? What do you know, bud?
I haven't heard anything at all, but I just feel like someone needs to push through and hold the line. And why not it be swimming? Why not it be swimming? And football's doing it. They're getting people in the stands, and people are fine. People are happy. Players want to play. Big Ten football players, they want to play. And I think swimmers want to swim, and people in the stands want to cheer. I think we should be an example for the world. Sometimes someone's got to go out. Someone's got to push the envelope and get us back to normal. Why not it be swimming and USA Swimming, and do it right and do it well?
So this is what I'm hearing based on conversations with the IOC, USOPC. This has not been reported on SwimSwam. If you guys are out there listening, we're recording this podcast, but it's going to drop sometime after October 1st. But I'm wondering if Josh is holding back and has heard the same thing I've heard. This is what we're hearing. We're hearing Japanese fans only, probably fewer sports, but mostly TV sports. And the TV in swimming will probably get more coverage than it's ever gotten in an Olympic Games. And 99.99% sure that an Olympics is absolutely on the books because IOC cannot afford. They can't have a hole in their budget, a rights budget. It's a little bit too financially catastrophic. They got to hold the games. The real question is trials. Trials is going to be challenging, but like the Olympics for the International Olympic Committee, trials for USA Swimming is that tentpole moment. We have to have it. And I know that internally that's being discussed. How do we do it safely and effectively? And how do you do it so Josh Davis can come?
That's priority, right?
Priority number one.
No,
you can't have a trials without Josh Davis.
I love the trials.
You're a shining star there.
Do not do that. Yeah. Hey, just bring the masks and let's get the party started, baby. It's going to be good.
It's something that started in 2016 as you became the first coach of Oklahoma Christian University. And this is, you've always had this gear. But what has this meant to you? Why did you make that choice to do it? And what has this meant in your life since 2016? What has this experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's been so rewarding. I've got the clinic thing down. I got the speaking thing down. But coaching a team for a whole season or coaching a group of swimmers for 4 years is a whole different skill set, a whole different level of leadership that I just didn't have a chance to practice that I always wanted to. I look at guys like David Marsh, Dave Durden, Eddie Reese. I look at them with such respect and I'm like, gosh, these guys know they have a special skill set to lead people and to motivate people and to draw the best out of them, whether it takes a few months or a few years. I'm like, I would love to have that skill set. And so this job here at Oklahoma Christian University, the OC, the Swimming Eagles, it was the perfect chance for me to hone those skills and develop that leadership. And so we immediately, when we first opened the doors, we had 40 freshmen show up, 30 guys and 10 girls. I think that was the biggest freshman class of guys in NC2A history, 30 freshman guys. And now those freshmen are now seniors. And, they've been doing best times every year. And we make fun, fast, hard practices. And I've got incredible assistant coaches, which is really the reason of our success. But I'm so grateful that a college is starting a men's and women's team, not canceling one. And we've actually made money for our college. So I don't understand why these athletic directors are cutting their swim teams. We bring more money. We boost their GPA. We're producing great citizens, great alumni. I don't get it. I'm so thankful that OC started this swim team. I'm thankful I've been able to develop as a coach, and that's another facet of the swimming, of giving back to swim kids that I wanted to have. So yeah, it's been a fun journey, and I need a female breaststroker though. Any female breaststrokers out there, 104 or better, I got a lot of money for you.
We are down to our last 10 minutes, so I want to nerd it up a little bit. And we'll just say this: when Rowdy Gaines is sick, or Natalie Coughlin's sick, or Elizabeth Beisel's sick, I get to do some commentating. I get to do some analyst work. I get a phone call and I go, "Do you want to do it, Mel?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And I'm there like 24 hours later, and I'm told very politely that I'm like 4th on the list. Josh Davis is way up the list. He has a long history as a commentator, and he's quite knowledgeable about everything. So just out of curiosity, buddy, if you had to look into your crystal ball and you were thinking 200 freestyle, what's something that you're looking for between now and the Olympic Games? Just in that top 8 of the 200 meter free, is there something that sticks out for you? It's like, people aren't thinking about this guy, but he's going to do well, or this woman and she's going to do well, or this is who I see on the medal podium. I didn't prep you for this, so you haven't done your research. Yeah.
I think this year is a lot of commentators are going to have to really do their homework, because this Corona break is going to affect the lineups, because this 6-month break literally is going to break or make a few people, and maybe some favorites don't have the same pop, and maybe there's some young guns who just had total water time who are going to just kill everybody. So obviously I have seems like Katie Ledecky has been doing her laps regularly and is in a great place, so she's always a force in the 200 for America and in the world. But for the guys, man, it is wide open for the guys. Being a Texas grad, UT guy, I love to see Townley Haas do his thing. He has the fastest relay split of an American in the last several years. So he's done it on relays. Now he just needs to do it individually. We've got some young guns. The Foster brothers are doing well. So I don't know. 200 free is, when you take 6 guys, you know, it just really opens it up. So we'll see. I can't say any more than that. I really don't have much more than that.
What is the most exciting race of U.S. Olympic trials swimming? What is the most exciting race for you to watch?
Wow.
No, forget the name. Forget the name.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love the 200 free. The 100 free has a little more testosterone in it. You know, to see those 6 guys, because only 2 guys, 7th and 8th place, are out. So I mean, it's just like the drama just intensifies for the 100 and 200 free at trials. So I do enjoy those very, very much.
It's about it's definitely
I'm
4x1.
curious.
No, go ahead. I stepped on you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do like to cheer for the over 30 people. So anybody that's over 30, I really get behind them. You know, if Locke, I want to cheer for Lochte, whatever he's doing. You know, Anthony Irvin, if he makes a comeback. You know, so the over 30, Matt Grievers, I really go nuts for the over 30 people.
The 4x1 and the 4x2, and it's really the 4x1 because there's so much testosterone, and at a shorter distance you can make mistakes, but really it is, everyone's thinking the same thing. You got to beat 2 people. You've got to beat 2 people in that final, and that is like at a certain point, you know, everybody that's in that top 8, you're on enough. You've got enough of a gear to do it. It's just who's going to have enough grit to get there. So yeah. You know, it's like, because it's like, it's who's 7th, who's 6th, who's 3rd, you know, who's, you know, and here's the thing, a lot of people don't know this, but like, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, that could change. You know, you just because you're you're 3rd, 4th, or 5th, or 6th doesn't mean that you're not gonna. And then it's a question of who's going to swim in the prelim at the Olympics and who's going to swim in the final at the Olympics or the relay. There's a whole lot of drama going on. And at the training camp, they're doing tests. They're doing time trials.
Yeah. Well, with Phelps out of the picture, I think it's going to be a little more fair process to see who's on and who's ready for that relay, because, you know, they always had to make room for Phelps on those relays, and they would use those time trials to kind of gauge that. And Phelps always really earned his spot, even though he didn't. You know, it was a little different than normal, and he always had one of the faster splits, so he definitely did great for us. So yeah, but the men's 100 free is so deep right now. I mean, I think there's 6 guys under 48. We've never had that. It's going to be intense. It's going to be great.
Do you know Dean Ferris very well? Are you buddies with him?
I've said hi to him for several years, and great guy. We've never had a big powwow, but just a huge fan, obviously, and want him to do well. So he's a very, very cool guy.
He is an outlier in that race, and everybody's wondering if he's going to pop in the 100, because the 200-yard free really translates well to the 100-meter free. Although a lot of people don't think that way, but it does. And but he's got the 200 free gear, and he hasn't quite. You know, he came on late, but and his meters talent has been developing a fast trajectory. But it's like we all know the potential's there from what we've seen in yards. And it's I think he's the outlier, and he adds a very dramatic mix to what's going to happen in those top 8 finals. But I didn't know where he was.
I agree. I agree. He's fun to watch. I mean, he's done some incredible things yards, and we've seen little flashes long course. But yeah, him and those guys, they got to get ready long course to do their stuff. And again, we need 4 guys to go 47, average 47 low and break that unbeatable record. If they can get Lezak and Michael's 2008 world record, that would be unbelievable. But it's possible. We need 4 guys to go 46.9. You know.
You're very optimistic. I don't know that people are going to go 46.9, but I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Caleb can lead off. Caleb can lead off 46.9, and then 3 guys go 46.9. It's possible. It's possible.
It's possible. It is possible. For the first time, I think that someone is making a more optimistic prediction than I am. I get called out all the time for making crazy predictions that are way, way fast, and most people forgive me for it. Just out of curiosity, are you in your office at Oklahoma Christian University? Did you hear that?
Yes, we're here at Oklahoma Christian University, the swimming office. And we ran three 1-hour practices this morning, and I have three more 90-minute practices this afternoon.
How close are you to your job?
Close in the means of.
I mean, like, you know, when you step out your front door and you walk to your Lamborghini, and you drive to the pool to run practice. How long is that?
Yeah, no. Edmond is a small town, and so I'm a 12-minute drive from my house to the college pool, which seems like a long commute, but there's no cars, there's no traffic. It's wonderful. And so I get here at 5:15 and open up, and then first gang comes in at 5:30, and we coach for several hours, 3 groups in the morning, 3 more groups in the afternoon because we have to spread everybody out for the corona rules. And then I do my 30-minute swim every day after they're done. And we have 11 recruits coming in this weekend. Can't wait. I'm heading to the airport after this to pick some of them up. We have our big recruiting weekend. The weather's perfect here in Edmond, Oklahoma. And so we got to replace all these seniors that we're graduating this year. And I just love it. I just love coaching this team, and I love being on this college campus. It's a beautiful campus. And I love going on the weekends to teach the age group kids, the USA swimming kids. So I'm living the dream to be able to do master's swimming for 30 minutes a day, coach the college swimming, love on the USA swimming kids on some weekends. I hope I can do this for a lot longer. I love it.
Will you come back on the pod?
Yeah, anytime, baby.
Any parting thoughts, my friend?
No, I just appreciate what you do for the swimming world and keeping us all motivated and excited and encouraged. It's been a hard 6 months for a lot of us. A lot of pools still kind of just barely opening back up. So, but I think we all kind of need to just keep praying, keep kind of pressing forward. And the best thing you can do is swim. The best thing you can do to build your immune system, to be encouraged, is to swim. You know, we got to eat right and do our laps and treat each other right. And we're going to get through this thing.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.